Well, additional thoughts on Watch My Back by Lucki. I came into the reaction pretty well prepared with an understanding of what the album was going to be like, what to expect, the mind state to be in, etc. And that worked out pretty well. I think if I would have come in blind, I would have totally missed the point, wouldn't have enjoyed the project, it wouldn't have worked out. I come into additional thoughts with nothing, completely unprepared in the sense of I have no notes. I did get 4 or 5 listens in, which is a little bit more than I expected. Kind of found myself enjoying the album a little more than I expected. I got 2 what I consider proper listens in. One on Monday night and one on Tuesday night, where I stayed up late. I was tired, drinking some whiskey, was on my computer playing some games, put on the headphones, cranked up the sound. And it was a different experience. It was a surprising experience for me in that when I listened to this on Friday, I had a very dark, depressed, negative point of view that I was viewing this album through, that lens. And I think that's appropriate given what I was told about Lucki and the state that he was in when he made this and so on. But then when I kind of experienced the album on my own, in not a dark, depressed place, but just kind of in that mood. It was a different experience in that I found it almost comforting in a weird way. Like the album sounded like how I felt. And with music, it's kind of 2 lanes generally, right? You've got one lane where you maybe you need to get amped up or whatever, or you're going to go out and you're going to have you put on music to get yourself to a place that you want to be. Mood, energy, whatever. Good or bad, right? Can go wherever, but usually we do that. Or we're in a mood and we want the music to supplement that mood. And I was really surprised by how well Watch Your Back supplemented the mood I was in when I was tired. It was late, been drinking a bit, kind of just this slimy grind, as weird as that sounds, because, with lubrication, there's no grind, but it's almost like a muddy oil and the machine's still grinding type of a thing. It's not a very good analogy. It's just gross. Muddy oil. I don't like dirty old oil. I like my engines to run well. It was just strange. And the game I've been playing, I've been sucked into the hardcore mode of classic World of Warcraft. It's been tons of fun. And in Warcraft, for those of you who have not played it, it's a online MMO, but it does a real-time day and night cycle. So at night, it's night in the game. And so I was playing in these areas and it was dark and the moon was out and you kind of get this sheen of light from different things. And I don't know. Really, it just surprised me that I could feel the way I did about this album. I could almost enjoy it. It's almost like a sweet toxicity type of thing. It's very, very strange, very surprising. And it was like that both nights. And I thought, okay, well, let's put it on the way to work in the morning. And usually I like to listen to something that's gonna kind of bump me up a little bit, get me a little motivated, rather than just fuck this place, right? Because going to work, man, nobody ever wants to go to work. And I clicked into a different mood, and it was a surprising experience in that, kind of like with music that you chill to, that you vibe to, you just kind of kick them back, you're going easy, nothing crazy. Watch My Back, I'm sorry. It was like that, but in this almost like a bitter, man, fuck this. But the layer of bitter fuck this was almost like this warm insulary layer, where I don't want to go, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this type of thing. But then the music, instead of dragging you down, at least for me, my experience, and it's something I was concerned with for those of you who might be listening to this album a lot, instead of the music pulling down, it almost felt like a barrier to where, okay, my mood isn't necessarily improved, but nobody can touch me right now. Like you can't, in a sense, like a strange numbness, which makes sense given all the shit that Lucki's talking about and experiencing on the album and expressing. So it was all very surprising to me. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I love this album. I'm going to listen to it all the time, because I'm not. That's just, you know, that's all there is to it. I think this album is special in what it's doing and how it does it. And when I read comments, people talking about how much this album helped them, I think as an outsider, you know, if you listen to this once or twice and you don't really get it and you don't like it, the idea of somebody having their life, you know, essentially saved by this, it doesn't make any sense, right? Like, how can that be? But I kind of got a sense of that experience, just a small taste, you know, because I'm not in a deep, dark place in my life, and I know others are. I've been some places like that where it's kind of deep, kind of dark, kind of depressed, but never like fully fledged, you know. So I can somewhat sympathize with that situation and how music like this makes you feel when you're in that situation. But it was neat for me to be who I am now in my life, happy, healthy, things are going well, and to still almost like get a peek into the darkness again, you know, what it's like. And I almost cringe saying that right now just because it's in my opinion, disrespectful to those who are kind of lost in the darkness right now, maybe even condescending, patronizing. And I just hope that, you know, I stand by what I said. It was a lot of good responses too to some of the commentary I had during the reaction, talking about, you know, don't get lost in this kind of thing. The more you swim in it, the more it's just going to swallow you instead of help you get through these emotions. And I still stand by that. You know, something like this, a project like this, it can be very special to you personally. It can be very comforting in a way, kind of an insulary barrier like I was talking about earlier. But at the same time, it can also, that wall of protection can become a barrier of isolation for your own self. And that's not a great spot. You know, that's not a long-term solution to whatever problem that might be bearing down on you right now. Cool project though. You know, I wish I could give like specific further details that help it make sense, the experience that I have with it. Hopefully what I said does make sense. You know, some of my favorite tracks, I've actually got hearts, you know, I put some hearts in. I really like Are You With Me and Oh Me. Those two click with me. New to Me and Waiting On. I think New to Me might be my favorite. Everyone says Sunset is Lucki's best song. Well, not necessarily his best. What was the other one? Poker Face, another great one, obviously. Sunset gets a lot of love, too. But Sunset's cool. I don't know. I like New to Me a lot. I love that haunting saxophone that's way, way off in the distance. Really, really like the sound of that. And then Waiting On's got that cool, like, synth thing going on. Cool project. You know, neat project. It kind of reminds me a little bit of By the Time I Get to Phoenix, Injury Reserve. That same feeling. But that experience and that album is so different. I mean, you could almost put it in the same category maybe in terms of like experimental. Although maybe this isn't necessarily super experimental. But, you know, with the Injury Reserve album, it's a group of people dealing with external things around them and trying to sort through that. And that experience is almost completely opposite from an individual who was lost inside themselves, you know? Very different. And so while there are some similarities there and there's some pain and struggle, it's very different. And this one too, with Lucki, just the fucking Xanax and Percocets and lean and all this, like, fuck, it does have this strange feeling of like painful numbness. If that makes any sense. It kind of reminds me of when I used to work night shift and I got 3 hours of sleep and I'm awake and I'm there, but I'm not. I'm just not even close to. And my eyes are burning and there's like this weird ache in my veins and it's just, I'm alive, but I'm in pain type of a thing. But it's not like a painful pain. It's just this ache. Huh. Well, there you go. 10 minutes of God knows what. there's my review, I suppose, of Watch My Back by Lucki. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I was given proper insight to what the album was before listening to it. I would have totally missed it otherwise. I don't think I would have been open-minded enough to sit with this and try and process it in real time, what it actually was and what it was doing. Okay. Friday, I'm going to do the new Tizo Touchdown album. Yeah. And if you're wondering, Bob, why are you doing that one? What's the deal? Well, one night, I don't know, a week or two ago, I was on Discord and I was drinking a little bit and someone said, hey, Bob, you should do the new Tizo album. And I said, okay. And sometimes it really is that easy for me to just agree to do an album. And I know that infuriates God knows how many of you who have been asking for an album forever and forever and forever. But, you know, life ain't fair. I don't know what else to say. Sometimes when the timing is right and the amount of beers I've had is right and the proposition is right, I just go, okay. Yeah, there you go. So new Tizo this Friday. And, I hope you all are doing well, and we'll see you soon.